I'm Amanda Bevins. I'm a PhD student here at Morgan State University in the Bioenvironmental Sciences program. The Blue Crab Survey is a survey that originated right here at Pearl by a researcher, actually the first researcher at Pearl, named George Abbey. And he designed the survey to originally look at the effects of a nuclear power plant here on the western shore of southern Maryland to see if there was any impact on the blue crab population. Over time, it's shifted away from that specific goal, and now we just look at many different population dynamics. So the survey looks at size, we look at number, we look at sex, male or female for the crabs, a lot of different dynamics. And the survey is really unique because it's been happening for a really long time. It spans over 6 decades. It started in the late 60s, and we're still doing it today. And we do it from June to November each year, and we collect the crabs and we look at those different dynamics again, so like size, number, sex, and we use that to understand how the population has changed over time. Another aspect of having a long-term survey that's really important and analyzing that change is understanding certain aspects that might be related to that change. So say the fishery might have dynamics related to how the blue crab population is changing, or climate change might also have impacts on the population. So as we see changing dynamics, we can possibly link them to certain things like the fishery or climate change. Certain things we have seen with our survey data, we've seen an overall size decline in blue crabs. So generally, some of the results that we've seen from the survey is that we're catching much smaller crabs as opposed to what we used to. Here in Maryland and Virginia, where blue crab is, caught to be eaten through the fishery, there are legal sizes that you can catch. So the legal size is 5 inches, and where on average the crabs that we caught through the survey were larger than the legal size, now we're seeing that on average our crab catch is smaller than the legal size. So what used to be considered a jumbo crab, which could be greater than 6 inches, close to 7 inches, our jumbos are no longer within that size class, they're much smaller. So that's one really significant change we've seen, is this decreasing size of blue crab over time, and we're also seeing a decrease in numbers. So the number of crabs we're catching with the amount of effort we're using to catch those crabs is decreasing over time. So we're seeing a decrease in size, a decrease in numbers, and without a survey like this that's looking long term, you can't really capture those changes that happen over decades. Another part of the survey that makes it comparable to the past is that we haven't changed any of the methods over time. So we've used exactly the same gear, we use the same bait, we use the same crab pots, which is basically the cage that's used to catch, or the trap that's used to catch the crabs. So we can really compare kind of apples to apples, since we're keeping our methods for the survey exactly the same. And so that is kind of interesting, because we are using crab traps, or as we call them, crab pots, that are based on a design from the 1960s. And we're still using that today, even though there's many more modern options that could be used. But again, it allows us to make those apples to apples comparisons when we're using the same methodology over time.